Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to another Lunch with Lisa. I am Lisa Warner. I am the author of The Simplicity of Self-Healing. It's the book that I wrote after I healed myself from cancer without using the medical model. How did I do that? I used it as a golden opportunity for my own growth. I changed the way I perceived cancer. I stopped running from the fear and I walked straight into it. And I recognized the illusion. And once I recognized the illusion, I was able to work with my body in absolute trust and love, which is what our bodies need in order to actually heal. So let's take a look at the golden opportunity that is cancer or any other disease or any other life circumstance that is troublesome, that seems to be not working, anything that is holding us back. These are golden opportunities. These are actually why we as souls chose to incarnate on this incredible, beautiful planet so that we could have these soul enriching experiences. Now, from the human aspect, like, that kind of sucks, right? The human part of ourselves is the part that is in the most density. The physical part is the most dense, right? Dense, as in sometimes not so bright. Doesn't mean we're stupid. It just means that we can't see beyond our own level of perception. We can't see beyond the density. We can't see beyond what we have been taught to perceive. As souls, we are non physical beings, we are pure consciousness. We are in the non physical realms, the realms of infinite possibilities, the realms of heaven, the realms of paradise, peace, ease, joy, self expression. We have unlimited possibilities. As souls, we have no worries. We don't have to earn a living, catch the next train. We don't have to worry about, where our next meal is coming from. We simply exist in oneness with all that is, exploring vast realms and dimensions. But we choose to come into physical form because it affords us an opportunity for vast growth. Right? Why do people climb Mount Everest? Right? Why would you put yourself through such an incredibly challenging experience, a physically tough thing to do? Right? Because it gives you opportunity for growth. It allows you to see from literally the top of the world. It gives you a different perspective on life. It shows you what you're capable of. As souls coming into physical form, it's analogous to climbing Mount Everest or doing anything that requires mastery of self, that requires effort, that requires some focus and attention and work. Right? Like, we don't grow if we don't push ourselves. So coming into physical form, as souls, we have no density whatsoever. These physical bodies are dense. And the only way to get into a physical body is to lower the vibration so much that it turns into density. It turns into heaviness. The physical part of ourselves is the heaviest, densest part. It's the part that has the smallest purview. The soul has infinite purview. The soul can see through all that is and can make choices of where to go, what to do, what the answers are. But in human form, we have very limited purview. So in human form, we have been taught what to think. We have been taught what is. We have been taught disease. We have been taught all of these limitations because somehow we have to get ourselves into these pickles so we can get ourselves back out of whatever pickle we've gotten ourselves into. Cancer, it's a pretty good sized pickle, right? There's a lot of fear in cancer or any other disease that we have been gifted by the experts that gift us such labels. And there's a lot of fear. And as humans, we fear a lot of stuff because a lot of stuff presents us with the opportunity of death, the end of the physical incarnation. This is kind of a contract that we have where there's a birth and then there's a death, and anything in between is what we call our life. The soul has infinite life. There's only life. There's no such thing as death to the soul. Death of the human aspect is simply the end of this particular experience. As the soul, we keep going. Okay, so death, biggest illusion there is. Fear is always ultimately fear of death. So fear and death are both literally illusions. And they're both very real human experiences. But these are experiences that we can transcend. We can transcend these things by remembering who we are as the soul. So when we find ourselves facing cancer, okay, I'll speak from my own experience, I was quite terrified. I was aghast at, like, oh my God, what has happened to my body? What's happening here? Am I gonna live? Am I gonna die? How did I end up getting attacked by this disease? Where did it come from? And at the moment that I realized what was actually happening, I realized I had two choices. I could go the prescribed pathway to try to kill the opposition, to try to kill off the enemy, because this is what we do when we're in fear, right? We're taught that that guy over there, he's the enemy. You got to be afraid of him. Kill him before he kills you. This is like group think. This is what we've been taught on this planet. We've been taught to kill off whatever it is that causes us fear, whether it's spiders or snakes or cancer or that enemy over there. Okay? That's the easy route because that's the pre-paved pathway. That's what we're simply taught. We're taught that these are the experts and they have the answer, and you got to battle your way out of this. Kill off the enemy and then you'll be fine. Well, it's really never the option. Taking the easy route really isn't the easy route at all. We didn't come here to take the easy route. We came here to transcend our fears. So if you're facing cancer or some other disease, this is your opportunity, a golden opportunity for growth. Will you accept the opportunity or will you fight it? For me, I realized that I could not go the medical route because that was not going to afford me the opportunity for growth that I needed. I realized in that moment that I needed to become more masterful. I realized that we are creator beings. And I knew that I had created my situation. I didn't obviously create it on purpose. Like, hey, I think I'll create cancer. That'd be fun. No. I created it through my unawareness. I created it through my fears. I created it through my reactions to life. I created it by allowing myself to continue to live in fear, in self-devaluation, in I'm not okay, there's something wrong with me, I don't like the way life is on this planet, I don't like to have some soul-sucking job. Like there were a whole bunch of things that went into the creation of my physical pickle that I found myself in. And I realized that in order to transcend this situation, in order to transcend the cancer, I had to transcend the fear. I had to step myself up into the next layer of myself. I had to step up into my higher self, into my higher level intelligence. The intelligence that is always available to each and every one of us. As the soul, we have literally the intelligence and wisdom of God, Mother, Father, God itself, divine wisdom. The soul is never in fear of any physical circumstance, ever, because there's always a solution. The solution comes from going inside and connecting to that soul level wisdom and seeing from a different perspective. Your soul sees a different view. Right? I teach that there are levels and layers of us, ever expanding layers. It's like a Russian stacking doll. The littlest doll in the center is the physical self, the human self, the littlest aspect, the one that has the least amount of knowledge, the one that has the least ability to see, the one that is in the darkest, deepest, darkest space. And then every layer out, there's like more, more light bulbs. Every time we have these light bulb moments, like, oh, I get it. It's like, oh, just moved out a layer. And every layer of awareness, every level that we transcend, every layer that we awaken to ourselves to, we have more and more and more wisdom to choose from. We have a bigger purview. It's like going up in a hot air balloon. When the balloon is on the ground, you can only see what's right around you on the ground. But as soon as you start going up and you reach the tops of the trees, like, oh, now, hey, there's stuff over there. There's more stuff. The higher you go, the more you can see. Right? When you're up in an airplane, like you can see miles and miles at a time. This is like the awakening process, the ascension process. It's like they call it ascension because we're moving not only up in vibration, we're also moving up in our ability to see more options. If you're on the ground and you're, in the middle of a city and you're in gridlock, like you can only see what's directly around you. You can't really see how to get out of the gridlock. But if you're up at the top of a skyscraper and you're looking down, you go, oh, well, there's the problem. Like 7 blocks ahead, you got an accident. You know, if you turn left up here, then, you know, it's like, oh, you can just get around it. But when you're in it, you can't see. So when you're in the fear, when you're in the cancer experience, it's really hard to see your way out of it. But it's not impossible. And this is why we come here as souls, is to be able to transcend these experiences. We're not meant to submit to our fears. We're not meant to allow the fear to take hold, to take over us, take over. The fear takes over. It feels, when we're in the fear, from my own experience, it felt like this thing, this enemy had completely enveloped me. And no matter where I turned, it was always there. I didn't know how to get away from it. But when I got quiet and I went inside and I connected to my core essence, when I connected to the wisdom of my soul, I suddenly realized that that fear was an illusion. And that fear of what was happening to my body was keeping me stuck in the experience. As soon as I saw through the illusion, the fear went away. I stopped having the experience. I realized that cancer was an illusion, that the fear was keeping me trapped in the experience of cancer. And it was an experience that I didn't particularly enjoy. But when I went inside and I connected to the soul level wisdom, I could start to see through the eyes of my soul. And my soul saw something completely different. It's like, hey, Lisa, your body's not being attacked by some killer disease. Your body is responding to your fears. Your body has taken on the shape of your fear. Anytime we have some internal conflict, whether it is a financial conflict, a romantic relationship conflict, you know, a job conflict, whatever that is that's causing inner turmoil, that's the thing that we're here to transcend. There's always a solution, and the solution is always to go inside and connect to your higher level intelligence, connect to the wisdom of your soul. When you start to think the way your soul thinks, the soul doesn't think anything at all like a human. Like, there is no real thinking or processing involved. The soul simply knows. And at that moment, I knew that if I could trust my body and just love my body knew exactly what to do. The body and the soul are directly connected. I didn't need pills. I didn't need doctors. I didn't need fancy protocols. I didn't need to battle anything other than my own fears. And the ultimate solution was to see the illusion of the fear. So if you're facing something right now that has you trapped, that has you stuck, that has you living a less than life, this is your golden opportunity. Are you going to use it as such? Or are you going to simply follow the pre-scripted pathway? The pathway that everybody says, oh, if you learn this, if you do this, if you follow my guidance, this is the way out. It's a pre-scripted pathway, somebody else's pathway that they've written. Just because many people to choose to walk that pathway does not mean that that's the pathway out. If you look at how many people have succumbed to cancer, like, it's quite easy to see that it's really not the pathway out. It's the pathway to ending the script here in your physical form. It's the pathway to ending your incarnation a lot of times. And it just, that pre-paved pathway, it's like, it's a very torturous journey. Just look at all the treatments. They're not really very fun. You can choose that pathway. There's nothing wrong with the pathway. It's a perfectly viable pathway. And if you choose that pathway, you're not making a mistake. You're making your own choices. There are no right choices and wrong choices. There are just choices. But will you choose the path of mastery? Will you choose to overcome what you came here to overcome? Will you choose to recognize that your soul chose this pathway as its Mount Everest, as something to overcome, to help the soul grow? When you overcome these things, you grow exponentially. Are you willing to grow exponentially? Or are you going to cower to the fears? Are you going to look to somebody else to save you, to fix you? Because I guarantee you there is no other being in all of creation who is going to save you or fix you. A, because you don't need to be saved, and B, because you don't need to be fixed. There's nothing wrong with you. You are here to save and fix yourself. You, as the soul, are here to fix the human, to save the human. It's all you. Are you willing to save yourself? Are you willing to step your awareness up into your higher consciousness? Are you ready to recognize that you are your own savior? Are you really willing to recognize that the fear that you are facing, the challenge you are facing, is absolutely overcomable? It is surmountable. And you have the answer. But you have to go inside and connect to your divine wisdom, to your source level intelligence. And you have to be willing to transcend the fear. I hope this was helpful to you. If you need help transcending the fear, if you need help connecting to your soul level wisdom so that you can ascend yourself, so that you can start to live as the soul you are from your divine intelligence, please reach out. You can find me at connectingyoutoyou.com. Thanks so much for watching today. If you liked this, please click like on the video. If you liked this and you think it would help somebody, please share it. Please subscribe to my channel. It will help me greatly. Right? If you feel that this message is worthy of being heard, please help me to get the word out. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Have a beautiful day. Bye for now.